Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 5th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. So here, and it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It's sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Looks like we are good to go here. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, December 5th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 45,000. 83, and the closest level of liquidity below is at 45,067. Price is really close to these levels here, so they may get hit. There's higher levels above it and below it, so if these do get hit, it's completely fine. We'll be looking for the next levels. Going over here to our clean chart, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the levels that are closest to price. So we got a level right there and a level right there. So looking at this so far, it looks like price is currently ranging between the 45,100 mark and the 45,050 mark. This is obviously going to move when the market opens up, but this is currently where price is currently sitting at the moment. First thing that you want to focus on is market structure, of course. So once market opens up, we'll look for market structure. Once we see the market structure, we can identify whether we're looking for directional moves or whether we're looking for sideways moves. So here's a clean chart. We have the numbers right there marked up with regard to the levels. Let's go over here to the SR chart and start on let's go a little higher on like the 1 hour. All right, so we got a huge zone up here. Not really gonna be super relevant. I guess we can mark up this smaller one down here for the support. Another one down here. Maybe another one down here. Let's go down to the 10-minute. So we're good with that zone right there. Probably draw one more right here. Big one right here. All right, looks good. All right, guys, so I've marked up the SR zones here. You can see price is currently ranging right here as well between the support and resistance. We got the support down here. Let's take this one off. We got the support down here, and we got the resistance up here. So price is pretty much ranging right now between, we'll say the 45,088 mark and the 45,030 mark down here. So there goes the SR chart. As you guys can see, price is currently within this range. Here's a clean chart. Price is also ranging between the 45,100 and the 45,50. Going to our main chart over here, you can see the liquidity here got hit. So this upper level got hit, and this lower level here got hit as well. And price is still climbing down slightly. So it's currently 628 right now. We're going to know the direction of the breakout shortly in about a minute. All right, let's see what we got here. So yeah, price is kind of just sitting right here down the middle right now. All right, so the direction for the breakout is going to be a sell for today. See if this candle here moves erratically. It's not looking like it's going to. But all right, direction for the breakout today is going to be a sell. Market's going to open in about 30 seconds. If this candle drops too big, then we flip it the other direction. We got market opening up in about 20 seconds. Breakout for today is going to be a sell. We got 10 seconds till market open. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is open. All right. Set this up right here. So the TP set at 57.
Order filled.
It's my hit or stop loss for the day. See where it's at. Yeah, so unfortunately our stop loss got hit over here for our breakout today, guys. Unfortunately, it's all good. So breakout got hit for stop loss. We're currently at basically break even for the week. So about basically at break even for the breakout for this week, guys. We had a loss on I think Monday, and then we had a win yesterday, and then we had a loss today. We're doing a 1 to 2 risk reward. Ideally, I wanted to take a buy here because I saw the range that was pushing up, but obviously entry for today was a sell, so it is what it is. So breakout for today did not play through. I'll be looking for some possible scalps here as price continues to move along, but we'll continue on with the analysis. So that's it for that right there. So let me go over here and we'll come back to this a little later. Let's focus on the scalps right now. So liquidity right here pretty much got hit all above, and the lower levels right here got hit too. So if you took any of these levels of liquidity, I mean, pretty much a bunch of these levels right here got hit already. Let me mark this up right here. Yeah, so let's see if this ends up coming back down. Let's see, this pushed up about, it didn't push up the full 100, it was almost there. So let's see if this thing ends up coming right back down. If it doesn't, then we'll start looking for some more buys here. Looking at the 4 hour is currently bullish. 1 hour is bullish. 30-minute is it's not confirmed to be bullish yet, but it looks like it may be bullish. Looking over here on the 10-minute, 5-minute, and 1 minute, price is actually bearish. So 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 30 minutes kind of in between, and the 1 minute is coming back down. So we just got this big spike here on open. The reason why I was looking for a possible buy here for the breakout was because the higher time frames are bullish. But you can see over here, even if we did take the buy, the entry didn't push up for the full 100, at least not yet. So we'll be looking for some possible scalps here, but at the moment, there's no entries yet. So we need to look at market structure to see if price ends up staying above or if it comes back down. Which you can see over here, price came exactly to this whole number, the 150. And then it shot right back down. So the current range is actually between the 150 and the 50 mark down below. There's no direction here. You can see prices kind of just going back and forth. So we'll see what happens here next. Today's the heavy news day. So, I mean, there's a lot of news that happened today. There's a lot of uncertainty with regard to direction of price. Looking at the news from today, we had jobs data that came out. It was pretty mixed. So we had continuing jobless claims over here, which is positive. We had balanced trade, positive, and we had initial jobless claims negative. Pretty much mixed news for today. We have a little more news coming up at 7:30. It's gas stock change, but it's not going to have a huge impact in the market. But you can see over here, price pretty much just whipsawed this morning. Price shot up, then it came back down, and then now it's sitting right down the middle. So we'll see what happens here next. Yeah, there's just not any direction right now. Looking over here at the SR chart, you can see price broke above the resistance, faked out right here, and then it pulled right back into the range. So we'll see here if price ends up climbing up higher. If it continues to climb up higher, then we will continue to follow it. Otherwise, we will see what happens here next. Let me clean this up. So if you guys took any of the liquidities here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of liquidity right here that got hit. So if you took any of these levels here, looks like they would have hit for you. Right there, right there, right there, right there, and right there. So we still don't have a 100-point push in either direction, as you guys can see here. So I would consider today's breakout a fair loss with regard to, or actually I wouldn't consider it a fair loss. I would consider it not a clean loss or a clean win if you took either direction. Because as you guys know, for our breakout entry, it's supposed to hit either TP or stop loss right away, right? And it's supposed to continue in that direction. So the way that the breakout works is typically when it goes the opposite direction. So for example, it hit our stop loss today. It's supposed to keep pushing that direction a little longer, right? It didn't actually do that. It's actually coming right back down. So it looks like our direction actually might have been correct for taking that sell. But the problem with this here is that we got caught in the whipsaw, which happened here on open. So let's see, let's measure this real quick. Let's just go back to our chart. Okay, so you can see over here, the breakout, if we didn't have this huge green candle here on open, it's coming back down to where it's supposed to go. Because our initial direction was bearish, right? So it looks like it was just that big spike right there, and then now it's coming back down. So now that I'm looking back at it, I don't really consider this a fair loss. I think we just got caught in market manipulation here on open. Because if we didn't have this huge candle, like if we just, none of this happened right here, you can see price is coming back down further. But we'll see if that ends up being the case. Because if that's the case, we'll just keep looking for some sells here for some scalps. And this happens sometimes, you know, sometimes you don't have that breakout where it continues to push. You have a situation where price kind of pushes up and then it comes back down and then it just continues in the direction that we initially anticipated. Right here is a breakout V3 continuation. I wouldn't take this here because the candle is just a little too big, as you guys can see. And then on top of that, we just didn't really have much of a direction yet. Once we have more of a direction here, I'll start looking for some entries. But you can see over here, liquidity got hit. So if we took this lower level right here, that was a full TP. And the other one is currently still running. So this liquidity got hit. Pretty much all the liquidity down here in the middle got knocked out, whether it was for a buy or whether it was for a sell. There's another liquidity that's currently running right now, which is right here. But again, like I said, I'm going to wait for some sort of confirmation of direction before I start looking for any actual entries. Let's see. Yeah, Sam said the all-time high 45,176. Yeah, that's another reason why I was kind of like not so sure to take a buy, even though the overall direction was bullish, was because of the all-time high. The all-time high was triggered yesterday, and it looks like it got pushed up a little higher today, or it's about to, and then it came right back down. So we're kind of like in that limbo right now, where price is overbought and price is trying to come back down, but then again, price is trying to push back up. So as you guys can see over here, let me draw another zone down below. There's nothing going on right now, guys. So there's no direction. There's just a big, huge range right here right now. Price pushed up, came back down. Now it's pushing back up. Looks like the area where price may sit at is down the middle right here. Because it seems like when price pushes out of this area, fake out, pull back into the range, fake out down below here, and pull back to the range. So we need to wait for that confirmation. If price doesn't pull back into the range from here with a fake out, then we may be able to start looking for some possible sells here. Okay, so now looking back at the breakout, let me take a look real quick because it looks like it doesn't matter which direction breakout we would have taken, it still would have lost. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which direction breakout we took. If we took a buy breakout, it would have been a loss. If we took a sell breakout here, it would have been a loss. So we took the sell right here, obviously. Price shot up, hit stop loss. And then if vice versa, if we were to take the breakout in the opposite direction for a buy, it didn't get all the way to TP. Yeah, so today's a toss-up with regard to the breakout. It doesn't matter which direction we took it. Took it for a buy, would have hit stop loss. Took it for a sell, would have hit stop loss. This is actually a really bad breakout. So I'm fine with eating this loss for today because it doesn't matter which direction we took it in. Market whipside here on open. Ah, man, that's weird. I haven't seen something like that in a long time. That's like a summer move. Like for price of whipsaw like that, back and forth 50 points, that's like what happens in the summer or what happens during the holidays, like when the market volatility is not very high. I don't think we've ever witnessed that before. Have you guys ever seen that with the breakouts? I don't know, maybe I missed it, but I've usually price goes in one direction or the other. So with that said, I think you want to be a little cautious with your directions of entry for today because it looks like price might just be ranging. Because this is a huge range, guys. This range is really big. There's no direction here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 144 point range from open. So price pushed up right here, then it came right back down, and now it's pulling back up. So it's a pretty short direction of movement. And this is like one of the this is one of the worst one of the worst like NFP weeks that we've had in a while. I don't remember NFP ever being like this in a long time, where it just didn't have direction. Usually by Wednesday, because today's Thursday, so usually by Wednesday it starts to pick up and move directional. But for today, it just I mean, it just isn't. Send us the Discord. I'm gonna close the hedge laptop for today because we're done with that. I'm hoping to look for some scalps here, but I mean, if the market doesn't move in the direction that we need it to, I'm not going to force any trades. All right, hedge laptop is done for the day. Let's see if we get some direction here. So here's the SR charts. As you guys can see, price is still sitting within the support resistance that I marked up before market open. We have the resistance up here, and then we have the support down here. Price is pretty much just sitting right down in the middle. Going to our clean chart, same thing. So like I said earlier, price, whenever it pushes out of this area, it fakes out. And when it pushes below this area, it fakes out, and then it pulls right back into the range right here. So I think price is probably going to sit within this range. Price has been sitting within this range for quite some time. Let me just take this level off and this level off here so you guys can have your focus in this middle area. So if I zoom out, you guys can see price has actually been within this range. I mean, throughout London session, it's actually been in this area since midnight last night. And then it kind of went through here as well during Asia session and yesterday's trading session. So this middle area right here is an area of interest. So until we get some confirmation, we're not really going to look, well, I'm personally not going to look for any entries around this area. If you guys want to take something, feel free. There's a market flow V2 that's currently active, it looks like. So the market flow V2 looks like it would have filled right here at the 50 mark. So there is a market flow V2 that's currently active, but again, there's no market flow in the market, right? So I'm not necessarily looking for any entries. In order for you to have market flow, you need price to be moving like this. This is the market structure that you're looking for. We don't have this market structure, right? So I wouldn't take any market flow V2s right now. Price is going back and forth. So what you want to be looking for is mainly sideways entries. So you want to look for some V1 variations. You want to look for some high-low momentum scalps. Those are two of the main things that you want to look for here. Maybe some CV patterns. It's just really up to your preference. But for the most part, I would stay away from directional strategies right now until we have some actual confirmation of direction. So until price comes back below and further, so until price comes below, I'm not really looking for any entries here just yet. I'm waiting for a confirmation here for price to actually push in the direction. So basically, I'd be looking for price to break and close below this low right here. Once we have that, then okay, great. We'll maybe start looking for some entries for some sells. But as of now, I'm going to hold off and just be on the safer side. So again, if you guys wanted to take this as a market flow V2, looks like your stop loss might have got pushed in profit already. If you're following it with a 10-point, look like if that happened there and your stop loss got moved in profit, you would have gone stopped out in profit. However, if you're holding it for the full move, it's still technically running right now. We got liquidity right here, and we got more liquidity right here. So I'm looking over here at the delta right now to kind of see how price is currently moving. The delta right now looks like the buyers are trying to push back. So here's the order flow footprint. You guys are looking right now right here on the most recent candle. The order flow right now is currently at there's 81 buyers in the market, 115 sellers, or sorry, 81 sellers in the market, 115 buyers. So the delta is currently positive 34, meaning that the buyers are kind of trying to get in control right now. You can see price is pushing back up a little higher. So you can see the delta right here. It's currently positive 47. So I wait until closer to the candle close to see where the delta is sitting. And then from there, you can kind of make an educated decision as to whether the buyers are trying to get back in control or if the sellers are getting stronger. So what I would look for here is I would look for the delta to push up a little bit and then come back down. Because this here will give you an idea of what to look at next. So we got a pending buy signal right here. I'm going to close this out. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position, but there was a market flow V2 that actually came up right there. Here, I'm going to mark it up right here just so that you guys have an idea of what came up, because that was a partial. So this was a market flow V2, partial TP for 10. I mean, it's still running. It still probably hit the full, but I'll put this down here just so that you guys have an idea of what came up right there and why is there a markup at that point. So here's a good thing. We have a buy signal here now. If we get a sell signal here, this may be a setup for, so if price comes back down, this could start to set up for a breakout V3 continuation. It can also set up for a triple confluence. It can also set up for a pivot scalp. It can also set up for a momentum scalp. There's a lot of different opportunities here. The only problem is that price is still consolidating sideways, right? So I mentioned earlier, the main thing to look for and focus on is whether price breaks and closes past this low right here. Because if it does break past the low, then we'll have a confirmation of some direction to the downside. As of now, we don't have that direction. So just got to sit tight and wait for some more confirmation here. There's just nothing going on. Price is going sideways. Check the overall direction. Overall direction here is still bullish. So personally, I would still be looking for a buy here if possible. It might not happen right now, but I think in the near future, if price does climb back up, I would personally be looking for a buy here, of course, because the higher time frames are still bullish. 4 hours bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes attempting to swing back to bullish. The 30-minute candle still has about 12 minutes left on it. So if this candle closes green, it's going to confirm that it's a correction back up. So price over here tried to swing below. And then if this candle closes above, then odds are it's going to correct back up higher, right? So the 30-minute here has about 12 minutes till close. If we have that right there, then it's going to be aligned with the other higher time frames. 4 hours obviously still bullish. 1 hour is bullish. 30-minute is going to possibly close bullish. And if that becomes the case, if the lower time frames here start to follow, then price may climb up even higher from where it's currently at. So we do have a lot of opportunity here to look for. And we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening with these entries here. But again, like I said, you got to wait for some sort of confirmation here. There's just nothing to take right now. I think so what I'll do is I'll just put a normal text box here. I feel like this thing kind of gets in the way. So I'll just put this here for now. So there's not too much mess on the chart. All right, we don't really have much going on here, guys. Price is still kind of sitting right down the middle. Again, we're looking for some sort of confirmation here before we start looking for some entries, guys. Here's our clean chart, as you guys can see here. I'll take this off again. The range is pretty much down this middle area. So not only do we need price to break below, we need price to continue dropping. So we need to continue dropping and drop even further. Otherwise, price is still stuck within this range here. Looking over here on our SR chart, you can see here, this is like the more cleaner range that you guys can see. Price is just sitting right down the middle. And there's no direction here. Again, if you guys are looking for entries, you can still apply sideways entries, but as of now, there's just not really much to work with. If you guys want to catch the bounces off the high-low levels right here with regard to price, I mean, you guys can do that, but again, I would probably just wait a little bit longer. Even for some buys here, I wouldn't take any buys yet until price actually climbs up and confirms that price is actually climbing up from there. Because otherwise, if you guys take a buy, like for example, right here, price might just fake out and pull back into the range. So I really just want price to break out of this middle area right here. Same with the SR chart, you can see price is pushing up to the resistance. I mean, two things may happen here. Price may break above, retest, climb up higher, or price may come up here and reject off and come back into the range. So you just got to be smart about your positions. You know, I talk about this all the time. It's easy to catch lucky trades or just to even find winning trades in general. But the real skill is understanding when not to trade. Right now, these are not my type of market conditions. I trade directional, so I'm not really looking to take anything here specifically. I'm waiting for my setup to come up, which is a directional push to the upside or the downside, rather than consolidation range within this middle point here. Not to say you can't trade within that area, but you know, if you enter a trade here, I mean, there's a possibility of you like maybe getting this, but also a strong possibility of you getting stopped out. So I'll have these up such if you guys want to take sideways entries, you guys do have the structure marked up for you guys there, something for you guys to follow. But for me personally, I'm going to hold off on it because I'm not looking to take sideways entries. Unless I see something that's really good. If I see a very clean V1 variation, then okay, great. Maybe I'll take the entry. But if it's not that clean, then I'm just gonna hold off on it. You guys got to keep in mind it is NFP week. Like we've said in the past, NFP week is either really good or it's really bad. There's never really like an in between. Right now, I'm like at about break even for the week, so I wouldn't say it's. And again, this is like a different type of NFP week. It's not your typical like high volatility, straight push in a direction type NFP week. This is a week where like the breakout here didn't even have a direction. Like whether you took a buy or a sell for the breakout, you would have lost in both ways because price whipsawed on open. So this is one of those NFP weeks which kind of feels like an outlier because there's just nothing going on here. Which I'm kind of surprised because it's December. So I was expecting there to be like a strong push toward. I mean, there is a strong push. If you look at the direction of YM for this year, so the 4 hour time frame, you can see here price was bullish since November. So the Santa rally did happen. Obviously, the Santa rally started happening right here, and then it just got super flat. Typically, the Santa rally continues for the rest of the month of December, but right now it's just been going flat. So you see over here YM, there's not much going on here, especially on the higher time frames. So there's not really too much to work with. So it looks like the 30-minute here is going to close bullish. Since the 30-minute here is closing bullish, the overall time frame for the higher time frames are going to be bullish. So we got the 4 hour, which is bullish. Price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. The 1 hour is bullish over here as well. The 30 minutes bullish. The 10 minutes starting to switch to bullish. The 5 minutes switching to bullish as well. And the 1 minute over here is continuing to climb up higher. So if that's the case and price does climb up that way, what I'm going to be looking for here is I'm going to look for a confirmation of retracement. So I'll look for price to maybe push up, retrace below the pivots, and then come right back up. If I have something like that, then I have a confirmation that price is likely to climb up higher. As you guys know from like earlier this week, I mentioned, I've been waiting for this pattern to play out pretty much every day. Been waiting for this pattern here to kind of play out a little bit. If this becomes the case and then that actually plays through, then I'm gonna try an entry on my on my Apex account, at least one of the Apex accounts, and I'm gonna try to ride it for a bigger move. So for example, price comes down, comes back above, I'll go for something like this, or in a different case, I've done my test, the 90s actually hit. I don't know if I'll do the 90 because it's so far out. I think the 60 might be good enough. Or I might have a trailing stop where the trailing stop may trail at the 60 and then maybe continue to push for the 90 possibly. Because the thing is, we have a ton of liquidity sitting up here. So it's not like price is done pushing. But when we get closer to that point, I'll let you guys know. And I'll kind of mark it up for you guys here. I'll still look for some scalps here, but as you guys can see, there's not really too much going on. I'm trying to look for the scalp. That's going to go in the direction of bias, but also in the direction of market structure. So here we go as price pushes up. Again, you want to look for price to actually stay above this area. Because you can see whenever price pushes up here, it fakes out and pulls right back down. So we want to see price actually stay above this area and continue climbing from there. Otherwise, it's just going to be, it's just going to be flat and pull back into the range. So again, we don't have a confirmation of direction yet. I mean, price looks like it may be bullish, but this thing could easily just pull back into the range here. So we got price climbing up. Here's the SR chart. Price is actually still in the resistance. This is the 1 hour resistance. So see if it holds. This is the 1 hour resistance, 1 hour support. So we'll see if it breaks above or if it pulls back below from here. Again, there's no direction of price, so we are We're really just waiting. So looking at the order flow footprint right here, you can see that the buyers are somewhat in, actually, never mind, I take that back. So they were in control for a little bit until the candles here start to die out. So we had 13 delta, 63, 73, and then it kind of flattened out right here. So it's starting to flatten out. So this is going to be a key thing to look at here, because if the delta starts to flip the other way and the sellers get back into control, then this could give you a hint that price is going to turn right back down into the range. So I would focus on the delta right here, as you guys can see. If you guys can't see that, I can zoom in a little more. But you kind of want to see the structure here. Let's see, Drew said would have been a perfect zone to zone long move if we had a V1 on the bottom. Yeah, I agree with you too. You're out. So if I was taking these sideways moves, I would have looked for the V1 for the bottom, because you can see price kind of push up, look for that reversal from the downside, and then climb back up. It might happen right here, actually. So the V1 variation may happen right here, and price may continue climbing. The delta right here is not very strong, though, as you guys can see, or it's starting to get strong. It's like 33 right now. Yeah, so there's a V1 variation here, or there's no sell signal. So this is a V1 pattern, but it's not a V1 variation. It's just a pattern because there's no sell signal here. You need to have a sell signal with a pending buy entry, but this is a double body rejection right here. The only problem is that the delta is not strong, so the sellers are still in control. Delta is still a negative 17 right now. So like I said before, guys, with the footprint's good for confirming confirmation of direction or reversals. So like right now, we're looking to see if price is going to reverse back down, right? We're looking to see if price is going to reverse back down, or if price is going to continue climbing up. So that's why I'm looking at the footprints over here, because I'm looking to see, okay, where are the buyers and where are the sellers? Who's in control right now? Right now, it's kind of a toss-up, because we had price climbing up right here and the buyers were getting in control. The delta went from 100 to 18 to 20, negative 63, 13, 63, 64, negative 64, negative 62. And then right here, the delta is also getting back strong again. So with the delta, we have to wait for it to actually close, though. So the delta has to actually close. It can't just like bounce around like that. Once it closes and we get a nice big number there, which is going to be pretty big right here, it's going to close at about 80 delta. Price is likely to push up to the liquidity up here. So this is probably where price is likely to push up to if price does continue to climb up. The only problem here is that we're currently at the sessions, right? As you guys know, I created this indicator to prevent us from getting into bad trades. Manipulation tends to happen right here at the sessions. And this whole market's kind of screwed up today. If you guys can see, like our breakout was like no direction. Price came up and it came back down, then it shot back up. Market flow V2 over here wasn't a good entry because there just wasn't much direction. Plus the volatility is not pushing through. And then now we have all of these sessions kind of just jumbled up around this area. So it's kind of hard to take any entries around here. I mean, although it does look like it may push up to the liquidity up there, this can be an area of manipulation where price can maybe come right back down. So I'm going to hold tight, guys. I'm not really going to force any trades here. Like I said before, the market structure for today is just not good. The overall market structure is just not there, because if you look over here on the clean chart, price is kind of just going back and forth between the range. And then on the SR chart over here, we're waiting for price to actually push up from where it's currently at. So ideally, I do think price may push up to the resistance, or not the resistance, the liquidity up here. But it's a real gamble if you're taking trades around this area where the sessions are at. It's not a gamble I'm willing to take. I'd rather conserve my capital and just not take anything here that may, screw up my account. So like I said before, guys, this is where the discipline comes in. Like if you have the discipline to not trade in a situation like this, forward to trading a situation like this. It doesn't mean to not to, but if you have the discipline and you have the setup here, then you take it and it plays out, then great. If you have the discipline and you know that there's no setup here and you decide not to take it, that's where the discipline is good as well. For me personally, I do think price is going to push up to the liquidity up here because the delta is showing that the buyers are in control. The only problem here is that it's at the session, so it's not my place to take an entry at this point. So let's see, now that price is above the sessions though, there may be possible opportunity for entry right here. So if you want to look for an entry here, you may have opportunity for what we call a market flow, sorry, not market flow, an MPS entry. So we got price push up, we had price kind of come down right here. It never really filled the entries. So if you get a retracement right here, this could be a possible MPS, which would happen right here at the 30, and it's going to be above the sessions. So it's a lot of things that can happen here, but again, there's just, if you look over here, there's liquidity, but there's also the sessions right there too. So ideally, this is a target price point that I'm looking for price to come and hit. But like I said earlier, it's just a little tricky because of this is like what we would consider a session sandwich. So I mean, technically, you could probably take it for like 10 points, or if you wanted to move your stop loss and profit with a trailing stop, the entry could still happen there. So there may be a possible MPS that could be setting up right here, guys, if you're looking to take it. Or the MPS might happen right here at the 40. Depends on where the retracement happens. Looks like it's going to hit the target already. So we hit liquidity right there. Not enough for the MPS to get filled. So the target did get hit. Like I said earlier, price can break above here. We were looking over here at the delta. It looks like price is going to try to reach the liquidity up here, and that's exactly where price went to. Yeah, if there weren't sessions all over the place, I would have taken it. Like, for example, right here, if there's no sessions here, I would have been okay with taking a possible buy here. What we would consider like a speculative buy or a liquidity push. But yeah, I mean, right now there's just not really much to work with. Again, there's still no confirmation that price is going to be bullish because we need price to actually break and close past this higher high. So see how price is rejecting off this area? This can easily pull right back into the range. Same with the SR chart. Price here can fake out, just like it did right here, and pull right back into the range. If you guys want to take this as a sell, you guys can do that. But again, that's risky because you're going against the trend. For me, I don't like trading against the trend. I would still like wait for price to confirm a confirmation to the upside. But right here, you'd be counter trend trading. There's a V1 variation pattern, though. It's a double body rejection, pending sell signal. I think if the delta is high enough, this could be a possible opportunity for price to climb back down to this middle area right here. Delta is not very strong though. It's like -46. You want it to be a bit higher, closer to like -70, -100, something like that, so that you can have an idea of price to climb down lower. Let's see. Sam said waited 3 hours for gold to make a move. Man, got 75 pips. I'm done. So much consolidation. Yeah, the thing with gold is I think gold may start to get flat. So I think gold might start to be it won't be a super volatile asset moving forward. The reason why I say that is because if you guys listened to Powell yesterday, so Powell spoke yesterday at 10 o'clock, he said that Bitcoin is likely to replace gold. So with Powell saying that, people are going to move from trading gold to Bitcoin because they want something that's volatile and moving. So gold might start to get a little more stagnant. I don't know how long it'll last for, or if it'll be a new thing, but if you are trading gold, I would probably I would pair it with like Bitcoin and see how Bitcoin is moving. Whichever asset is more volatile, I would probably stick to whichever one. Because Bitcoin does move similar to gold. It's just there's more choppiness and it's not as smooth, at least not yet, because it's not actively traded as much. But once Bitcoin becomes more and more actively traded, then the more traders are going to go from gold to Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin is just going to start moving smoother. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, gold's not going anywhere, right? If you can handle the consolidating market for gold, then perfect. It's like trading oil, right? If you're an oil trader, oil was volatile at some point, and then people moved away from oil and people trade gold. And then people used to trade a lot more people used to trade gold in the past, and then they moved to NASDAQ, right? NQ. So for me, I just stick to my asset. Like I trade YM. I've been trading YM for like 8 years now. Um, like it doesn't matter if YM gets super volatile or if it gets flat or it consolidates. I stick to the same asset because I know how it moves. I just know when to trade and when not to trade because I understand how market volatility works for this specific asset. So. I think the thing with YM is that YM will like never go anywhere. I don't think YM will ever be too flat or like it'll ever be too volatile because the thing is YM is the top 30 companies in the US. So if YM starts to get too stagnant and it starts to move too flat, then what happens is they just switch out the company. So instead of having like for example, we had Intel, which was in YM before. YM was kind of flat for a bit. So what did they do? They took out Intel and um they brought in Nvidia because Nvidia is like the hot stock right now. So, the main thing is to just focus on a specific asset. I would focus on an ETF though. So I wouldn't really focus on something like say gold, oil, like a specific commodity, unless you like to trade that specific commodity, because there's going to be periods where it just becomes flat. And that's just how the market works. That's why like I don't trade S&P, right? A lot of people like to trade ES. The thing with ES is that it's 500 stocks. So if you compare YM to ES, and if I put ES over here, you can see here it does move, but it doesn't move as fast. Like I can't really take breakouts on ES like that because it just isn't as smooth. I wonder if ES here would have hit for the breakout. Let's see. So breakout here would have been a buy. Like you can see ES, it only moved about like 10 points. Like I don't even know what my breakout would be for ES because it's so slow. And there's no way we get 100 points on ES. This would be like I don't even know what TP stop loss would be. But yeah, a lot of people like to trade ES because it moves slower. Like if YM is too difficult for you, then ES might be a good alternative because they mirror each other. Um, but it's gonna be hard to take certain trades like breakouts, for example. I think those can be kind of difficult to take on ES. Yeah, Sam, so I see what you're saying. I was thinking YM. I'm here watching you, that's why. Also, I see YM moves smoother than NQ, but I do not know how to trade YM. Yeah, exactly, Sam. It's just gonna require a lot of chart time. So like once you have enough chart time trading YM, you'll start to see things that others can't, right? Like for example, for me, a lot of people might have chased this buy here, but I told you guys not to chase the buy because I said price will likely turn here and pull back into the range, right? So you can see my arrow here. I drew this about like 5 minutes ago before it happened, and look where price went. This is only because I understand how YM moves. Like, yeah, I could have taken the trade here, but this would have been a gamble, right? Like I already drew this earlier. I showed you guys this was what was going to happen. I said price is going to fake out up here like it did because it happened over here, and it's going to pull right back into the range. I'm not no market wizard, but I understand why it moves. Like it's the same pattern, it just repeats itself. So yeah, I said earlier if you guys wanted to take this here, you guys could have taken it and rode it back into the range. Um, but obviously I'm not going to take those trades. Like the thing that I realized over the years of trading is that you have to understand your trading style. Like for me, I don't like to trade reversals. Even though I can spot them, like I spotted the reversal here perfect, right? I told you guys this was probably going to happen. It's the thing is I don't have the trade psychology to handle a trade like this. Like I knew this reversal was going to happen, but if I was to take this trade, I would have been nervous. I wouldn't have felt good taking the trade, and that's why I wouldn't have taken it. But if you guys want to take these trades here, I'm giving you guys my analysis here. So if you guys are reversal traders and you guys are comfortable taking reversals, when I say something's going to happen, it's probably going to happen. So you can take it if it falls in line with your analysis. So that's why there's a lot of people here in this group that don't actually trade my strategies. They just like to sit here and listen to my analysis because the thing is, I've been trading for so long that I have an analysis across the board. Like I can show you directional analysis. I can show you reversal analysis. I can show you consolidation analysis, right? Some people don't even trade directional. They're just here to listen to me talk because I show you exactly where the consolidation is happening. So, if I say price is going to come back into this area, odds are price is probably going to come back into that area because I marked the zone up before market even opened. Like at 6:20 when we got on this live session, I marked up these two lines and I said, okay, price has been consolidating within this area. So look out for price to push out and then pull back into the range. Because that's probably what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's happening here. The thing that you won't get from me is you're not going to have me arguing with people, right? It's crazy because there's people who come in this group and then they say, like, you'll see people in the chat, they'll come from other groups and they'll say like, oh, I hated this other group because whenever I said something opposite of like, or something different of like whoever was hosting the live session, they would just get into a big argument. The thing with me is like, I understand that there's different types of market strategies, right? Every strategy works. You just have to know which conditions to apply them in. For me, the market here isn't moving directional, so I can't trade. I trade directional. So until market moves in this direction, then okay, great. I'll take my entries. Otherwise, I'm just kind of sitting here and analyzing the market. I understand that you can trade in this type of market, right? I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to say, no, this is the only way to trade because I know directional is not the only way. You can trade consolidation, you can trade range, you can trade breakouts. For me, I trade the breakout and I also trade directional. That's just my style. It's my style. It's what fits me. It's what I feel comfortable trading. And I do this every day. It's not like I just find it crazy that like people argue and it's I'm not gonna lie, I was like that before. So when I first started trading forex, I used to argue with people all the time because they would call the opposite the entries. But then over time you start to realize that you could be right or you could be wrong. Or you could both be wrong. Like for example, the breakout for today, this was wrong in both directions. So it doesn't matter which direction you took the breakout for a buy or a sell, I would have been wrong both ways. And that just goes to show that this type of market condition, like see how the market's going back and forth. Let's go to the SR chart. See how the market's going back and forth within this area. This shows you that, I mean, it doesn't matter which breakout you take. You could take a breakout for a buy and you'll still get stopped out because you might not hit your GP and price will come back down and stop you out. Vice versa. We took the sell here for the breakout. And although like our stop loss got hit, price came right back down to where it's supposed to go. So it's just the type of market that we're currently in right now. There's no direction. The volatility is okay, but there's just no direction. So there's no space for me to take any directional entries. However, looking over here at the sideways entries, so I didn't really look for this entry right here, but there was one that came up. There was a higher high. There was a sell signal that broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. This was a high level momentum scalp. The reason why I wasn't really paying attention to it was because it was at the sessions. Right. So this is my strategy right here for sideways market. So if the market's going sideways, this is one of the main strategies. The only problem here is that it's at my red flag, which is the sessions. And like I said earlier, I don't trade at the sessions because that's typically where manipulation tends to happen. So I got to follow my rules. I got to stick to my game plan. I haven't taken any trades on my scalp account. I don't think I took anything today, and I don't think I took anything yesterday. Yeah. So I didn't actually take any scalps yesterday. So I'm just being disciplined with not taking anything here because the market's just not giving me what I need. Yeah, Sam said, yeah, your analysis and helping community is worth respect, bro. People charge a lot for what you're doing on YouTube. You're winning live on YouTube. Yeah, no, definitely, Sam. And this is beneficial for me because, me doing my analysis and explaining to you guys like what I see on the market, this helps me because it prevents me from entering trades, right? Like, for example, if I wasn't analyzing the market for like a sideways market structure, like if I didn't realize that this is a sideways market structure and I was chasing trades in like both directions, I probably would have lost some trades today. But because I do see that market here is consolidating and going sideways, it prevents me from getting into bad trades. So this is why I'm consistent. And this is why I'm consistent long term is because I'm not taking trades every day and I'm not forcing trades where I don't see anything that I'm specifically looking for. So let me check this out real quick. Okay, never mind. I was hoping that like I was talking about this earlier. I said if price kind of comes up, comes back down and swings back up, I might take that buy entry because the higher time frames are bullish. But looking over here at the 4 hour, it's still bullish. 1 hour is bullish. but the 30-minute is back to being bearish. So if you see over here, my analysis it's not it's not necessarily my analysis, but my setup is not playing out because I wanted price to stay above this area and I wanted this to play through so that when I'm on the lower time frames, I can just ride the wave. But it's not it's not playing out. So I think today might be a little bit of a toss-up, guys. Unfortunately, I was really hoping to take more trades today because today is Thursday. It's supposed to be the day with all the news, but unfortunately, the market's just not really moving very directional. I'll keep looking for entries here. I'm not done trading, but I will continue to just be very cautious about my entries here. So this up here was a high-low momentum scalp. And I didn't take these trades, guys. I'm just marking them up. So in the future, if you guys want to go back and review like what came up, you guys can see examples of these specific entries. I'll take a screenshot of this as well so that you guys can see, a little later. Viv said, I appreciate your commentary. Yeah, no, definitely. Glad I could help you with that. Viv said, still not understanding the session. Hard to see chart. So you have the indicators, right, Viv? Or I think you do. So if you have the indicators, turn on the sessions. Are you not seeing the labels right here on the side? So some people don't have the labels right here on the side. If you don't have that, just go to your settings right here, right click, go to settings, go to trying to figure out which one was it. The specific button here. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out that there's a button here that shows the oops, what did I do? I did something. Go back real quick. Okay. Yeah, because I know some people don't have the labels right here. There's an option right here in your settings to turn them on. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, so Viv doesn't have training view open because of the delay. So basically all you need to understand is the colors, Viv. So the only thing that you really need to understand are the colors. So if you see a purple line right here, this is an Asia low, or if you see a purple line above, which is right here, this is the Asia high. So, and that stuff also doesn't really matter because you don't care about the sessions. All you do is care about the lines across the chart. Basically, to make things as simple as possible, avoid any entries that are touching that have to touch or that are touching any of the dotted lines on the chart. So you see the blue line right here, this is opening price. Price tends to get manipulated around this area too. If I don't trade on open, I use it as a target. So if price is away from it, I use it as a target for price to reach, but I don't necessarily trade any entries that are touching the blue line. The blue dotted line is always going to be opening price for market. The purple line is going to be the Asia high low. So again, it doesn't matter what color it is, just avoid trades that happen at these dotted lines. Any dotted lines that go from left to right, just focus on not taking any trades around those areas. So for example, there was a high low momentum scalp that came up right here. I wouldn't have taken this trade personally because it's touching the red line. The red line is a London high. That means that yesterday, London session, this was a high point. And you don't want to trade around these areas because you can see whenever price comes near this red line, price gets manipulated, right? Right here, price came up for the breakout and then it manipulated back down. Same with this right here. Price came up, it faked out around this area, and then it came right back down below it. So to make things as simple as possible, just avoid any entries that or anything that has to touch any of these lines that go left to right that are dotted. The blue lines that are solid, those are going to be liquidity. So you can use those as target levels. But for the most part, I mean, that's really all that you need. So basically, any solid line, use that as a target, and any dotted line, use that as we call it red flags. They're like areas to avoid. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, Sam, thanks for confirming that. Basically, if you go to the settings here, you can set to or Sam just put in there, you go to price and then you go to labels to update the I think it's this one down here. There we go. So this is the one that you're supposed to look at. So I believe and I don't know what's up. Sometimes I right click it and it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. The problem with TradingView is that they always update stuff and they never really tell you, oh, here we go, labels. No, it's a high low. There we go. Yeah, so if you go to the indicator over here, if you go to labels, you turn it off, it's not going to show the labels, but if you turn it on, it'll show the labels right here on the side. Daniel, so the ATR is dropping lower and lower. Yeah. So the ATR right now is currently at 15, guys. As you guys know, whenever the ATR drops below 15, it's usually a time to avoid entries because the volatility is just too low. So this is the reason why I created this indicator as well, is because this kind of shows you how the market volatility is currently moving. I set it to 7. I mean, you can leave it at like not at initially, I think it's at 14. But it doesn't make a big difference. It changes by a little bit. I just want to see 7 because I want to know what's happening right then and there. So it's a little more accurate when you change it to 7, which is like 1 point. It's not a huge difference. But you guys can see here the volatility is getting very low. ATR is currently at 15. But there's not really too much going on here. If you go over here to the clean chart, as like I said earlier, price is going to consolidate within this middle area. And again, it's still stuck within this middle area. Price has not gone anywhere. It's not looking like I'm going to be able to catch any entries for today, guys. Fortunately, I was really hoping I take at least 1 entry, but with these type of market conditions, probably not. Got a new zone right here. All right. Let's see, Viv. Okay, cool. So Viv found the K2 sessions indicator. Yeah, I mean, the sessions indicator, you don't really need the real-time data because it's going to show you the sessions from like the previous day. So you don't really need the real-time data. It's going to be hard for you to follow on it, um, but you don't really need much for it because it's going to have lines on the chart already for you, but you won't be able to follow price. So I guess it does have a bit of an issue. Let's see, Viv is asking, can you tell me where to find that hack for TradingView? Yeah, so if you guys are looking to get like free access to TradingView for like a limited time, if you guys are on the course, this is what the course looks like. Just go down over here to TradingView free trial and discount and upgrade. When you click on this right here, it'll give you detailed instructions of like how to get the free 30-day trial. The thing with this, Viv, is that this doesn't give you access to the data though. You still have to pay for the data. Data is not part of TradingView. It's part of the exchange. So even if you were to do that, it'll give you access to the TradingView tools. So if you want to have all the tools here and access to like everything that I have, like for example, the footprints and stuff like that, you can have it, but it's not going to give you access to the data because the data is not part of TradingView. The data is part of the exchange. And the data is only like $4. So, I mean, it's not very expensive. I mean, I pay for data on like 3 different platforms. I pay for data on TradingView. I pay for data on NinjaTrader. I pay for data. Wait, actually, are you trading with Apex, Viv? Because the data is included with Apex. Yeah, so you don't need You just log into your Apex account on here. It comes with the data. So yeah, you don't need to pay. I mean, I pay for the data because I have multiple charts. Like if I was to use the Tradeovate data, it would only show up on this chart. But I have like multiple charts open, so I can't have. I got to pay for the data separately. But if you're using Apex, you just log into your Apex account here on Tradeovate, and you have data. It's accounted for. That's how you have data on NinjaTrader, and that's how you have data on Tradeovate. Like all the data is included with the Apex account. So yeah, I pay for data for like I pay for data for TradingView, I pay for data for NinjaTrader, I pay for data on Tradeovate, and then I have the data on Apex. So I have like four different sets of data that I pay for, um, which is not bad. I mean, it's like $7 a month, I think, per account. So I pay like maybe like $40 a month just for data. But it's worth it because if I didn't pay for the data, I wouldn't be able to show you guys all these charts here, and I wouldn't be able to see the charts myself. So. I mean, it's beneficial for me. All right, so we got liquidity getting hit over here, guys. As price drops down lower. Looks like this candle over here had a pretty heavy delta. It was like 119. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so you're on Rhythmic. Yeah. Yeah, so you'd have to, you wouldn't be able to have access to it, unfortunately. I mean, if you want data, you can just pay for it. It's like um I don't know how much is it on TradingView, but I think it's like between $4 and $7. I know I pay $4, I think, on NinjaTrader because I just pay for like one asset, but I have like the whole futures assets on TradingView, so I pay a little more to have the CBOT data. Let's see, Drew said there was a V1 to high level momentum scalp to BB3 short. Oh, from this over here, right, Drew? Yeah, there was a lot of setups right here. It was the high level momentum scalp that happened right there. Plus, it was a BB3 sell signal red candle, and then on top of that, there was the V1 that was right here too. So yeah, this was a pretty good confluence. It was like three back-to-back entries: V1 variation, high level momentum scalp, and breakout V3 continuation. Pretty smooth. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it because it was against the trend, but it was a good entry for either one. Sam is asking, Sean, why I'm bullish or bearish for NFP? Here, let's check the jobs data for today. So here, I'm going to look at this whole week of data. So inflation news was positive. JOLTS job openings was positive, so there's more jobs available. ADP change, people left their jobs. Jobs data from today, continued jobless claims. So I'm anticipating it to be bullish, Sam, just because like you can see over here from the news. So like the jobless claims, well, I mean, they're kind of mixed. So continuing jobless claims are bullish. 4-week average is like slightly negative. It's not that big, but it's slightly negative. And initial jobless claims, a little worse too. So it looks like it could be a mixed bag, but looking at like the news from earlier this week, it's probably going to be positive because you can see there's a ton of, well, not a ton more jobs, but there's a quite a bit more jobs available here. So yeah, I think for NFP, it's probably going to be bullish. I think the news will be bullish. That doesn't mean price is going to go up, but I think the news will be bullish. Might have a late reaction, might have a early reaction. It's I mean, it's tricky. That's why I don't like trading news. Are you trying to flip your account? I'm assuming that's what you're trying to do. You're gonna try to flip your account tomorrow for NFP. Uh, I think it'll be bullish. I think ideally, I think it'll be bullish. I'll say look at the chart before market opens and then see where's your liquidity sitting. So for example, like open the chart and then see like where all the zones are at. So if you see prices come down like this, and then say 530 hits, then it's probably going to push up and fill this area. So look for like structure like this, because this is probably what's going to happen. During London session, you're going to get manipulation to the downside, and then the news happens and it's going to shoot right back up. I think if you have a pattern like this, like a W pattern setting up, it's probably going to push up because for one, I think the jobs data is going to be bullish, and then I think if this is the case, then I think the technicals are also going to line up with it. So if you got fundamentals and technicals lining up in the same direction, it's probably going to push to the upside. So yeah, I mean, good luck to your flip tomorrow. I mean, like yeah, Monday NFPs are like the main news day to flip an account. If you guys are looking to flip, I don't know if Apex has any promos going on. I don't think so, but if you use the code that I provided with you guys, if you use the admin code, it's JJ. You still get like some sort of discount. I think it's 50% at least. So if you guys use this code JJNIEOWR, this code will give it's an admin code for Apex. I got it from their previous admins, and it just always gives a promo. Even if there's no public promo, if you put that code in, it'll give you a discount no matter what. Because it's the admin code. It's basically if the admins want to sign up for an account, it's like a employee discount basically. So it's always going to give like about 50% off. Like right now, I don't think Apex has any promos going on. Yeah, there's no promo going on. But if you put in that code, it'll give you at least 50% off, if not more. It's employee code. Sam said, so typical sell off before spiking up. Yeah, exactly, Sam. That's what you want to look for. All right, guys, there's not really too much going on here. You can see price is still pretty flat. It doesn't look flat here, but draw a zone down here. Yeah, so it doesn't look very flat because price is down here, but if you look at these current candles, it's not really too much going on. I was hoping I'd squeeze something in. So price is currently at the support level. The thing that you want to be careful for here is the correction back to the upside. I mean, ideally, I'd look for some sells here, but what looks like may happen here is a possible correction back to the upside. Price will probably consolidate here for a little bit, and eventually it'll break back up, or it'll break down further. So we'll see. It is just a matter of time. Hey, Jeff. Nice, nice. Use the code 2 nights ago. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the code is always going to work, guys. So if you guys ever sign up for Apex, even if like they have a promo going on, like for example, they had a promo going on a couple days ago, which was like 80% off or something like that. Just always use this code, guys, because this is the employee code. Like I use this all the time and it gives me like the best discount. Like, well, I don't use it anymore because I don't buy any more accounts. But before when I was trying to flip accounts, I mean, it always gave me the promo. Like when everyone is paying like full price or they're paying a little less, the promo code would always give me like whatever the highest one was. I think at some point I had a like when I used that code, it gave me like a 90% off or even a 95% off. Um, so if they have an active promo going on and you use that code, it's going to give you the active promo plus a little more. Oh, hey, Javier. Nice, nice. Yeah, I saw your name. I was thinking Javier Vasquez because I see that you're Vas, but it makes sense now. It is you, Javier. Yeah, no, good to see you here on the live session. All right, guys, so we got price kind of below the support right now. It hasn't climbed back up. Like I said, two things may happen here. One thing is that price may fake out and swing back into the range, or the second one is back down. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, yeah. So Javier over here, he's in the chat. He said that he used the code recently. He got 90% off. Perfect. Yeah, that's a steal because if you use that code and you get 90% off, you could get a 300K account for like 30 bucks. It's super, super cheap. Viv is asking what is a flip? Like when price flips. Wait, sorry, I just saw your question right now, Viv. I don't remember what I was referring to. I'm assuming it was, I'm trying to like think back to what I was talking about like 8 minutes ago. Um, I think I was just talking about how price flips the other way sometimes, right? Sorry, but I just saw your message, so I don't remember what I was talking about at that time. Um, oh, flip. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Now I, yeah. So what I was talking about with Sam. So when I was talking about flipping an account, that means to pass your account with one trade. There's different words for it. Some people call it uh full porting. That's like one thing. Full port is probably full port and flip are like the common names for it. It's like when you take one big trade. So I would never recommend people do this. I've done this before and I've passed challenges like with like one news event, but the number is 117. So you use the max contracts of 35, I believe. And this is to pass a 300K account. So basically what I was telling Sam is, and I don't recommend you guys do this. I mean, I would do this if like the accounts were like 20 bucks, right? If they're so cheap and they're like 20 or 30 bucks, then I could flip like 20 accounts and get 20 PAs in one shot. So basically the sweet spot number is 117. Like this is the number that you would want to go for if you're going to flip an account. So basically when news happens for NFP, so tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. it's NFP news, right? That's the biggest news event every month. So every month you have a chance to flip an account, meaning you can pass an account with like one trade. Um, so the number here is 117. This is the profit target you're looking for. You want price to spike up just so that your TP real quick and then hit your TP immediately so that you flip the account. Like you just go in one go and you hit your TP and then you make 20,000 on that. Because, if you do the math, so basically, if you're doing 35 contracts, that's 35 times five because each contract is worth $5, right? Times 117 points, you lock in 20,475. So this is how you would pass a 300K because this is how much profit you need to pass it. So I don't recommend people do this, but if you do want to do this, I did the math for you guys. So you guys already know you need to go for 117 points. You set your TP to 117 points. You pray to God that this is going to push to 117 points. It hasn't been working lately. I mean, it's worked before in the past, but lately there's been like, because before it would just go straight to your TP. But if you've been following NFP lately, it does like this weird move where it'll whipsaw. It'll come down first and then it'll come up and then it'll hit your TP. But what happens if it comes down too far, it'll stop out your account before you can actually get to your TP point. So it's like super, super easy to get. Well, it used to be super easy. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what happened with the market, but I feel like they caught on. They caught on and they made it more difficult for you to do that. So yeah, there was a time period, I think it was in the summer, like everybody was passing all of their 300K accounts with just like one trade because they would just flip it or full port it. Because price would spike. Like if you look back to previous NFP days, price would spike uh like it would spike like 200 points. Like it was almost guaranteed. Like you could trade both ways. You could take a sell and you could take a buy. One of those would have been funded. So you would have had a funded account uh by doing that trick. The trick doesn't work as good anymore. I hear people still do it on NQ, but I don't know. I don't need any funded accounts because I have all funded accounts already, so I don't have to do it. But I know people are still doing it, and it still works to some extent. Viv said, wow, I learned something every day. I want to do 50K. So you can do it. It's even easier with the 50K because the 50K is you only need to make a certain amount of profit, right? Like it's not really it's not really yeah, I mean you could do it with the 50K. It's like I think a 50K is probably like you have to make 1,000 or 2,500. So it's even easier to do it because you just go for a smaller target point. You can pass the 50K on one trade with the breakout entry. Like if you're just doing a one-to-one. Like if you really want to do it, you can do that pretty much. Or let me see, what's the max contract size for a 50K? The 50K is the easiest one to pass because it's like you're doing a one-to-one risk reward with or it's slightly above, so 3,000. So if you were to wanted to do a 50K count, max contract is 10. Yeah, if you do max contracts times 5 times 100, yeah, you could easily pass it. Well, you could pass a 50K like every day. Like if you just have if you get lucky on one on one breakout. Well, I mean not lucky, but if you just take one breakout, you can go full port on 10 contracts. You could easily, yeah, because so for example, Viv, if you took the breakout yesterday and you took it, you would have passed your 50K in one trade. You just would have full ported it. Um, now I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious because you could probably do a 150K. Let me see this. 17 times 5 times 100. The 150K, you wouldn't be able to full port it. I mean, you get close, but yeah, you wouldn't really be able to full port that one. It's a little more riskier. I think on the 100K you could though. 14 times 5 times 100. Yeah, for sure. So if you want a full port and a trade on my breakout entry, you can almost for sure get it on the 100Ks and anything below that. Again, I'm not going to tell you to, I'm not going to recommend you do that, Viv, because I don't want you to be like, so what happens is once you find something that's super easy to do, then then you then it becomes like a bad habit. Because that's what happened with like one of the other guys. If I'm not gonna say his name, but if there's this one guy who used to pass challenges like all the time. Every day he would full port and he would pass challenges every day. He would just take the breakout. He would pass challenges and then he would do the same thing the next day. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to full port, pass your challenge, and then go back to smaller contract size. Like go back to your regular contract size. Um, but yeah, no, it's crazy. Now that I thought about it, I'm like, you can literally pass any account from 100K down to 50K with just one trade on the breakout. Uh, yeah, that's crazy. Okay. But you can't do it with Apex though. So here's the downside. I was hoping I could have like backup accounts because now that I'm kind of curious. I'm like maybe I should open a bunch of 100K accounts and just YOLO these for the most part. Um, no, but you can't really do that. So you can't really YOLO them because once you're in your PA phase, you can't you have to trade a certain amount of days. So yeah, the YOLOing works with just passing it. Like if you had a 100K count, guys, and you took one of my breakouts, like say for example, we take the breakout tomorrow and you went full contract size and it hits TP, then you would pass it in like one trade. But then once you're funded, you can't really take trades like that consistently because you can like blow the account. I mean, you wouldn't have the consistency going with yeah, you wouldn't have the consistency. You'd violate the consistency rule. That's what the case would be. Because you'd have like one big day of like huge profits, but then you'd have to have like a win streak because if once you lose, you'd blow the account. Yeah. All right. So we don't really have much going on here, guys. We have liquidity that got hit. So if you guys took any of these lower levels of liquidity right here, um, looks like you would have hit your TP. And I'm just like kind of curious now. I can't like, so I'm thinking if I go to Apex, they said you can only have 20 funded accounts per household. So I was thinking, I was like, man, if I open an account under my wife's name and then I just YOLO it to get it funded real quick, and then I take the scalps with full contract size, this could be like an extra way to make more money and not really worry about the accounts. Because the thing is, if I do this, I would have 1,000 risk. And then each trade I could probably risk, I could aim for about like 250. Huh. All right, I'm gonna have to think about that later. I didn't realize that we could full port on the breakout entry. I mean, because the breakout entry is gonna hit, right? There's gonna be some days where it doesn't hit, but there's gonna be more days where it hits. So like if I was to full port it on a day where I think it was gonna hit, like say a Tuesday. So from the data that I have here, the breakouts typically hit on like Tuesdays, like you can see over here, or not Tuesdays, on Wednesdays. Most of the time it hits on Wednesdays and Fridays. This is my profit for like last month. But yeah, buys usually work. It's usually buys and Wednesdays and Fridays that typically hit. Yeah. All right. Now I'm just kind of curious because I'm curious as to how I can get another 20 accounts with Apex and then kind of use those as like fun accounts where I can just take a bunch of scalps. Like these scalps here that I consider risky, I can take the riskier scalps and then I just make a bunch of profit on that and then just get payouts. And then if I have to restart and do the flip again, I can just redo it again. It's just so lucrative. Once you find like something that works and you can find these little loopholes to like get accounts funded very quickly and then just trade them. And then if you blow them, it's fine because you know how to get them funded again really quickly. It's like super lucrative because that's like an extra, I can make extra money just doing that on the side. Like I could trade my breakout, plus I could trade my regular scalps, and then I could have an, because I have two laptops here already. I can just flip the other one for the more riskier scalps. That's crazy. Thanks, Viv, for the tip. Now I kind of wanna now I kind of want to figure a way around that. Yeah, because I have two different addresses. I could use a different address for my wife's account. Yeah, Viv said that's what she wants to do. She's been struggling for so long. Don't want to do it when she's funded, just to pass. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so when you if you're oh you're using Rhythmic though. Yeah. Because I'm using NinjaTrader. So if you're using NinjaTrader, then you can set your ATM where you can have the automatic TP stop loss. If you're using Tradeovate, which you're not, you can't. But I'm not sure what platform you're using for Rhythmic. I know if you want to use something similar to what I'm using for NinjaTrader, you can use Sierra. That's like one of the main ones that people use, or Quant Tower. That's how they use a copier, and they have the automatic TP stop loss. So you can do that. But yeah, the way to do it is you set up ratios. Like for now that I thought about it, you can like literally take both directions for the breakout too, because one of them is going to hit. So you can buy two accounts. One of them is going to buy, one of them is going to sell, and then whatever hits, you're passed. That's crazy. I don't know why I never thought about that. Because the breakouts, like for example, today was this rarely happens where it loses both directions. But the breakout from yesterday, so yesterday our breakout won. You could have taken a trade in both directions. Like so, for example, the breakout was right here for a buy, right? So you could have taken one account for a buy, and it would have hit your TP, and you would have like guaranteed pass on that account. Um, Or then you could have taken the sell and you would have lost on that one. So one would have taken the sell, would have lost. You could have taken the buy on the other one, and that would have won. But then that would have guaranteed you one funded account. And then if you had, like, say, for example, if you just wanted to get 20 funded right away, you can do like 20 of them for buys and 20 of them for sells. And then you could have just gotten max 20 accounts right then and there. It's you would have to use a ratio function, but because you're on Rhythmic, Viv, I don't know if you can use ratios. I'm not sure how you do it on Rhythmic. I know on NinjaTrader you can set ratios, so you'll have like 10 accounts that or 20 accounts that do ratio positive, and then you have 10 accounts that do ratio negative. So like 10 of them will take buys and 10 of them will take sells, or 20 of them will take buys, 20 of them will take sells. and then all of those be passed. Like one half of them would get passed and one half of them would get blown. That's how a lot of people used to pass it before when they would take the news trades. All right, guys. So all of the liquidity here got hit already. I mean, again, like I said, guys, there's no entries here. Price is coming down, but there's just no entries here. We need price to come down, retrace, come down, retrace, come down. But right here, there's just no sell signal. We have a buy signal right here. We need a sell signal to push price down. And then we need price to retrace and continue lower. But we don't have that here. So unfortunately, there's just no opportunity here for entry. Yeah, exactly. Sam said get 50% profit and then do the rest yourself. Yeah, that's an easier way to do it too. Just get your profit and then just grind out the rest of the move, which is what I've done in the past too. I've taken one trade where like I had like a really big profit, and then from there I just grinded out the scalps until I finally hit my goal. That's how I first passed it. When I first passed the 300K accounts, it took me about 3 months. It was a long time to pass a 300K account. To pass it the right way, like to actually pass it trading normal entries, it took me three 3 months. It was a long time. Williams said Apex doesn't have any promo. They don't have any promo to the public, but if you use the code right here, this is the employee code, JJNIEOWR, the code still works. So there's always a promo for the employee code. William, if you're trying to use that. Javier is asking how to set up Apex account to trade US30. So the asset that you would trade, Javier, would be YM. Apex trades futures, so you wouldn't trade US30, you would trade YM, which is better because you're trading on the actual exchange. Hey, Kyle, morning. Sam said, bro, your breakout gives 100 points. It's a good amount of points. No joke, you underestimate your breakouts. Yeah, well, because the thing with me with the breakouts is that I'm looking for consistency long term, but if you want to use it to full port an account, it's possible because we actually do get that type of breakout on open. It's 100 points, so it's pretty solid. Most of the time, it goes straight to TP, just like it did yesterday. Today, I obviously went straight to stop loss, but now that we have this data, now that I have I have this chart right here, I think I'm gonna focus on like where am I making the most profits, and am I winning more on buys or I'm winning more on sells, and then also am I what days am I hitting? Because if that's the case, then I can kind of pinpoint days to just trade. Like for example, it seems like Thursdays I lose a lot on Thursdays, right? Because right here you can see it's like a negative. Well, not a lot, but I lose on Thursdays weekly. So maybe I should just avoid breakouts on Thursdays, and then maybe I should just focus on mainly buys for breakouts. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to improvise the models moving forward. I think the model we have right now is perfectly fine. It still yields pretty good amount of profit, but if I can yield it to increase the win rate a little more or lower the stop loss a little more, then that might help in the long run. So, all right, guys, it's about to be 8 o'clock. There's nothing going on here. Here, Sean, let me give you the code. Or I'll post it over here as well. Yeah, so if you guys are ever curious, like what promo codes to use, just go to right here where it says funding companies on the Discord, or go to FAQs, and it'll have all the promo codes here. So like right now, Apex isn't doing a promo, but from what I heard, Javier right there, he just used it, I think recently, he got 90% off. So yeah, if you use that code, I'm not sure if it's 90% off always. There's probably like a limited amount of 90% offs that work. But yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. All right, so we have a possible breakout V3 continuation coming up right here, guys. I mean, the volatility is really low. but this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation if the candle closes red and if the delta is like strong enough for a sell, but it's not looking like it. So this looks like it could be setting up. No, never mind, take that back. Candle did not close red. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. Let's see. Sam said, I think avoid a day before a big news. Price range as always. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Sam. That's kind of why I avoided or why Monday was like a good day to avoid the trade because, like you said, whenever there's big news like that, there tends to be the big volatility push and then the market gets flat, right? And I don't know if you noticed it, and I've noticed it too. Kind of similar to like, I wouldn't say yesterday, but maybe like on Monday. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's something I could add into the model, of course. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, not very much opportunity in the market today because price went sideways for the most part. We had pretty much a range. Price started to move down below over here, but at this point, it was already kind of too late in the session. And then market volatility here kind of flattened out. So all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, no scalps for the day. We have the trades here marked up, but I didn't take any specific trades on my accounts with regard to scalps. And I'll keep an update in the chat so that you guys can see what came up for the day. But if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here same place, same time tomorrow.